Good morning, everyone. I'm Bill Rice Jr. I'm here at C Spire Troy Cable Studios. Mike Amos, the founder of Today in LA, is at his daughter's house, I guess, in Mountain Brook, joining us on the telephone. How you doing, Mike?
You're coming through loud and clear from the Mountain Brook to Pike County line.
Well, you know, Pike County is in the national news. Troy is in the national news because, as everybody no doubt by now has heard, the President of the United States, Joe Biden, is scheduled to come to Lockheed Martin and our county and town Tuesday. So, as far as I know, no sitting president has ever visited Pike County, Alabama.
Does that mean that he is going to pull in at Lockheed Martin, or will he pull in on the square in downtown Troy?
No, he's going to Lockheed Martin. So I wonder how he'll do it. I mean, will the Air Force One fly into probably Maxwell Air Force Base? I think is where they go.
Well, you tell those turkey hunters, hey, you tell those turkey hunters, beware.
Yeah, then they can.
There's a new chief in town.
I guess they would.
Special forces.
Man, they'll bring a big op team beforehand. Probably there already.
Could you see somebody out turkey hunting and a guy walk up on him and say, "Well, look, son, we got this today. You better head on out of here."
I can see that. That will happen. I guess, you know, they'll have Air Force. They'll have the Marine One, the helicopter. That will probably fly the president from Montgomery to Lockheed Martin, but I don't. Maybe they'll drive. Anyway, however he gets here, the president of the United States and all the media that comes with him are going to tour Lockheed Martin. And they're going to tour it because Lockheed Martin, among other weapon systems, makes the Javelin missile, which is an anti-tank missile you can fire from your shoulder. And the U.S. government is providing a lot of those javelins to the military in the Ukraine to fight the Russians. And so that's obviously why President Biden, he wants to show that he is supporting the resistance in Ukraine. And Lockheed Martin's an important part of that operation.
Now, do they make just the Javelin, or do they make other missiles?
I think they make about 4 or 5. I know it changes. I used to know all of them. I mean, at one time they made parts of the Patriot missile, but they make the Hellfire missile, which is used all the time on drones and helicopters. And
are we still using the Hellfire?
Oh, yeah.
Are we still making the Hellfire?
The Hellfire is widely utilized. So the Javelin, the Hellfire, used to make a THAAD and the Patriot, and
I'm thinking that they might just be making a Javelin now. I don't know, but we'll find out later on.
Well, Mike, you ought to go out there. We ought to go. I tell you, I'll talk to President Biden. I'm going to say, go to Sister's Restaurant.
Yeah.
Or go to, and then get for supper.
Or get him a plate to go.
Then I'm going to say, for supper, you can go to the half shell.
Yeah, you're right.
And then he needs to ride through Troy University's campus, which is really pretty right now.
And he could also ride over to my favorite Sunday.
Yeah, he's not far from. He could go over to Reds.
Reds is real close by the way the birds fly.
You know, a president has been, not a sitting president. Well, I might take, a President Bush the first, George H. Bush. He has eaten and been to Reds because there is a picture of President Bush at Reds on the wall at Reds. Have you seen that picture?
Yeah, in fact, every president is on the wall. It's one of the very few places in Pike County where all the presidents have pictures of them on the wall.
Well, it's an old schoolhouse, and that probably in old schoolhouses they had pictures of all the presidents. But I was looking, my kids were looking at that, and it does. It goes from George Washington. They don't have Biden yet, but it stops at Trump. And they
we need to tell them. We need to tell them at least put his picture up there because he's liable to want to go there for lunch. That would be the best lunch that they've ever had. From Air Force. What is it? What's the name of the plane?
Air Force One. I would think Air Force One could land at our airport in Troy, but I don't think our runway is long enough to accommodate a 7.
I would say it would land in Montgomery, and then they take the helicopter probably and come on into Troy.
You know who used to who used to fly that helicopter for President Bill Clinton?
John Fairclough's
son.
The Fairclough's kid from Troy. He used to fly Obama around on the helicopter.
I thought it was Clinton, but it was
Obama.
Well, he was.
Fairclough friend of mine who is actually retired now and lives in Troy.
I think it was Clinton because I remember I remember a story. Well, I think it was him or one of his co-pilots was at Camp David playing catch.
He might could have flown both of them, but I'll say this right now, Brian. You're wrong and I'm right. Because he flew Obama, and he told me several stories about Obama. You know that when he flew it.
Well, he might have gone back because I remember interviewing him when I had the Troy Citizen newspaper.
He could have done it. You know, he could have flown him. But I know he flew Obama.
But I had the Obama had nobody heard of Obama when I had the Troy Citizen. But the story I remember is that one of the pilots was bitten by the dog, the first dog, but it was accidental. They were playing frisbee or something, and the dog was chasing the frisbee and trying to catch the frisbee, and jumped up and instead of grabbing the frisbee, bit the guy that was getting ready to catch the frisbee.
Well, right. We also say it's a big day too. The first round of the National Football League draft is over with now, and I watched it all the way until the last person. And Alabama had 2 people to go, and I want to say Georgia had 4 people to already go in the first round. Pretty good.
Well, they didn't equal Alabama and Miami's record of 6 in the first round. Alabama tied last year, but 4 is still quite impressive. And then Alabama to have 2. I mean, it was Evan Neal, the left tackle, went 7th to the New York Giants, I think, and Jamison Williamson.
That's right. You're right.
He went 12th to the Detroit Lions, which is probably the last team you'd want to be drafted by. Don't you think?
You mean he doesn't want to go to play for the Detroit Lions?
I mean, when was the last time the Detroit Lions had a good football team? Forrest Lee just walked in. Maybe he can tell me.
Well, I'll tell you this, who also had a great, yesterday was a great moment. The New York Jets had 3 first-round choices. They got 3 first-rounders.
Well,
by way of trades and so forth.
Mm-hmm.
So the New York Jets really did well.
Well,
We'll be.
You know, you say so. The Jets will have 3 first-round picks on their team next year. Well, you know how many Alabama had 8 first-round picks on their team last year. When they had 6 players that were picked in the last draft and 2 this year. So you had football teams that had a lot more first-round picks than any NFL team has first-round picks.
And everybody has to Jalen Hurts, and them has to be excited because they got A.J. Brown by way of a trade. So the Philadelphia Eagles look pretty good right now, too.
I am joined on the set by a man I hope needs no introduction, Coach Forrest Lee.
Good morning. Good morning.
He is probably going to
Barley, it's time for a new beginning with Forrest Lee.
That's the Bob James song, but Forrest Lee was, weren't you the vice president of the STA at Troy University or something?
No, I was at Goshen, and but I ran for STA president at Troy University. I filed my papers the last day you could, and I lost by 41 votes to Stacy Krebs.
You only lost by 41 votes?
Yeah.
And you filed the last day? So you didn't have any
Yeah.
campaign expenses or campaign?
Well, this is at Troy University. Anyway. But you talking about Bob James, his given name is what?
Forrest?
Forrest Hood James.
That must be why Mike sings the Bob James song when you come on the set.
Yeah, that was it. That was his war cry. Bob James, it's time for a new beginning with Bob James.
What did they call him? What was his nickname at Auburn?
Probably Bob.
You know, and I don't know.
Well, I think some people called him Fumbling Fob.
Oh, really?
He was a great running. He was a great running back, but apparently he had a problem coughing the ball up.
He was an All-American, and his home was right down the street from him.
You know, he would have been playing a couple of years after, or about the same time as Bobby Marlowe. You know that?
Yeah, close to it, but yeah, close to it. You're right.
Because Bobby Marlowe's last year at Alabama, I think, was 52. Don't you think Bob James was playing for Auburn around?
Right, it was close to it. You're right. I'm sure during that 4-year period that he probably played against Bobby Marlowe. You're right.
Well, so the great running backs in the state of Alabama would have been Bob James and Bobby Marlowe.
That's right. The orphan boy from Troy.
And then
Like I say so many times about what was that great writer of the Birmingham News?
Alf Van Hughes.
Alf Van Hughes, the greatest sports journalist in the state, says when they were trying to determine who they thought was the best running back ever to play for Alabama.
Sorry, Mike.
Have room to say anything?
Yep. Well, I think your son is calling us. Hold on. Let me do my official. Guten Morgen. Guten Morgen.
Happy Friday to everyone.
This is Michael Amos. He's calling from Grayton Beach, Florida. So let's set the stage, literally. Bill Rice Jr.
I'm calling from
Well, Forrest Lee, Coach Forrest Lee, not to be confused with Bob James. Mike Amos needs no introduction, calling from Mountain Brook, and Michael Amos calling from Grayton Beach. Good morning, Michael.
Morning. Dad's actually in the tiny kingdom of Mountain Brook. That's the real name of it.
I tell you what, I was at Mountain Brook Elementary School yesterday, and I saw how the rich kids go to school.
Is it different?
The fabulous school, Mountain Brook school system. But let me finish saying, that one thing how Bobby Marlowe gained such a great tribute from Alf Van Hughes. He said, they had already talked about Johnny Musso, and he was sitting around the table, and all these real non-scribes were trying to decide who was the best running back ever at Alabama. Of course, another one was
Well, you had people like Wilbur Jackson and Johnny
Wilbur
Musso.
Jackson and
Tony Nathan and all those kind of people.
Johnny Musso, Bobby Humphrey.
Yeah.
And all those great running backs. And then when it got to Van Hoos said, well, guys, every one of those guys y'all named were great players. But I'll take the orphan boy from Troy any day of the week.
How about that?
So he said he would take the orphan boy from Troy. And that orphan boy was one Bobby Marlowe, the youngster from Troy, Alabama. Van Hoos said he was the best that ever wore the red jersey of the University of Alabama.
And Bobby Marlowe was later adopted by Robert A. McGee, who owned the funeral home. And Robert A. McGee lived on the corner of Pine Street and Maple Street, but Pine Street, where he lives, is called Thrill Hill.
Yeah.
Everybody in Troy knows Thrill Hill. The kids love going down Thrill Hill, and as Mike told us the other day, his friend Winley Wade Tatum went down Thrill Hill in roller skates and survived it as a kid. And I was taking my kids home from school the other day, and we ride right by Thrill Hill every day on Murphy Street, and I said, y'all look at Thrill Hill. I'm going to tell you the story about Winley Wade Tatum that 70 years ago went down Thrill Hill on roller skates.
And it probably wasn't as smooth as it is today.
And let me tell you the unreal story. I went down Thrill Hill yesterday, and I thought the same thing. And especially coming from the Pine Street part of Thrill Hill, that is a steep hill. And only somebody like Winley Wade, who was not afraid of anything. He was a daredevil back then in the early 50s, that he would dare try to do it, down.
Well, Forrest made a good point too. He said that
going down on roller skates down Thrill Hill.
Well, Thrill Hill would not have been as smooth in 1951 as it is in today with the asphalt, right? That was probably even more dangerous.
And probably faster now.
But just think, you know what Thrill Hill did? It divided the rich folks from the not so rich folks. Because that Pine Street, first house, you see that big old Tudor sitting on the corner. Then Dr. Brantley's house on the corner. And Mr. Dodson, the newspaper man, on one corner. And Rube Lawrence, the hardware man, on the other corner. Did you know that, right?
Well, didn't your wife grew up on the part of Thrill Hill, really?
She grew up in that big Tudor house.
But that is really, we don't think about it as Thrill Hill, but it is because it's on the going towards College Street and across Murphy Street. But that hill, I have looked at it, that steep dip hill, it starts at College Street, goes across Murphy Street, goes up and goes across all the way up to Orange Street, past Maple, past Orange.
Maple Street and Orange Street.
And it goes past Orange Street one more block too, so it's...
But once you get to Orange Street, it starts going back down towards Fairview now.
Okay, all right. So it peaks at Orange Street, and then it starts leveling off and going down.
Hey, I want to mention something this morning before I forget. Judge Billy, my good friend.
Hightower?
No. Something. I was trying to answer a question here. I'll get to it in a second.
So the SEC had 12 guys go in the first round last night. I didn't even finish watching. I didn't hardly watch any of the draft. I wasn't excited about it for some reason. They had 12 guys, and Georgia had 5 defensive players go in the first round.
Yep, they had 5, but they didn't break the record.
I don't know if that record will ever be broken as far as 5 defensive players in the first round. That's got to be the most ever.
Oh well, I said 4 earlier, so it was 5 that Georgia had in the first round.
And they were
and then you hate to see Stingley pretty much didn't even decide to play the last year and a half for LSU, and he goes the 3rd pick overall. So he's just like Jamar Chase from LSU. These guys really just haven't even play.
You know, I'm still, as an Alabama fan, I'm still worried about Bryce Young and Anderson. I mean, I wonder why the heck are they even playing next year?
I mean, Georgia has five first-round picks, and Alabama put 41 on them in the SEC championship game.
Yeah, you're right. I just wanted to just wave to my sweet daughter. She's fixing to get plane to France. She's leaving out to France. So, you know, people up in Birmingham, they're still flying out to France and to England and Spain, wherever.
Well, I think the whole world's doing that now.
Yeah.
Good.
You don't have to wear masks on planes anymore.
Yeah.
Hallelujah.
A group of friends are going to ride the bus over from Birmingham or Mountain Brook to Atlanta, and then they're going to hop on the plane in Atlanta and fly Air France to Paris.
Wow, that's exciting. I've never been to Paris or France for that matter. Have you been?
No.
So Georgia had Trayvon Walker go number 1 overall. Have you already been over the draft?
No, not in detail.
Won't you
All right,
go over?
so Trayvon Walker went number 1 overall. LSU's cornerback Derek Stingley Jr. went number 3 overall. After that, interesting to hear, Evan Neal slipped to number 7 overall with the Giants. That's Alabama's big offensive tackle. A lot of people at one point had him going number 1. Mississippi State had an offensive tackle named Charles Cross that went number 9. He jumped up the boards. Jamison Williams.
That's a rich country boy, wouldn't you say?
Jamison Williams out of Alabama, phenomenal year. Blows his ACL out in the national championship game. This tells you what the NFL scouts think of him. He still went 12 overall. Couldn't compete. Couldn't participate in any of the pre-draft stuff, but still went that high.
And Michael, they traded 20 spots up to get him. Detroit did. I just read that. They traded up 20 spots to get him.
Do you count that kid to be at the top number 1?
No, I mean, this is first round. I'm talking about. They only did the first round last night.
Yeah, I know, but that means Alabama had 3.
No, Alabama only had 2.
All right, well, you had.
I'm naming all the guys in the SEC.
Oh, okay, I got you.
Alabama had Jamison Williams and Evan Neal in the first round. After that, you had Jordan Davis. Everybody knows him. He's a huge nose guard that ran a 4.9. He's 6'6", 350 pounds. He went to the Eagles after Jamison Williams. After that, you had Kenyon Green out of Texas A&M, offensive guard, went 15th. Traylon Burks, the great wide receiver out of Arkansas, went number 18 to the Titans. After that, you had from Georgia at number 22, Quade Walker, outside linebacker. After that, at number 23, you had Khalil Elam out of Florida, cornerback. After that, you had Devontae Wyatt, defensive tackle out of Georgia at 28. After that, you had Lewis Kine out of Georgia, safety at number 32. Also, out of this was very strange. New England Patriots, their 29th pick was a guy named Cole Strange out of Chattanooga. Chattanooga guy, first round.
6'5", 307.
A guard?
And it was the first. Yeah. It was New England's first pick, wasn't it? New England's first pick, and they take this kid from Chattanooga.
You know, I read.
His overall rank though was a 3rd round pick, so this is a shocking pick for this guy to make it all the way to the first round.
I also read in my pre-draft research, you know, which I of course did, that NFL people rarely pick a running back in the first round or a center or guard. The interior linemen, they like the tackles that protect the quarterbacks. But the Patriots picked him a guard, and then not only that, an obscure guard from Tennessee, Chattanooga.
And there were no running backs taken, is that right?
Or quarterbacks. Was there a quarterback? No quarterback. No quarterback.
Yeah, the guy from Pittsburgh got drafted by Pittsburgh, Kenny Pickett.
What number was he?
Pickett did, yeah.
So
he was. I'm sorry, he was.
He went number 20.
Yeah, from Pittsburgh. 6'3", 270.
So Pittsburgh got a player from Pittsburgh. I like it.
And I tell you what, he was the sharpest guy in the room. If you noticed, he was classy and carried himself extremely well.
I mean, this is just such a joke, though. Will Anderson was so much better at Aiden Hutchinson and this Walker kid from Georgia. I mean, you're talking about a guy that has to be, like, thinking to himself, I could be a multi-millionaire right now, and I've got to play another year at Alabama.
What do you mean by that? Oh, because he's just a sophomore.
He's not
eligible for the draft.
Well, I tell you,
Mike, this
why
Alabama
is he playing?
defense might be the greatest defense ever to wear a red jersey.
I don't know. I don't think the secondary is going to be as good as some of the great defense.
I was thinking he was going to be
the defensive lineman, though, for sure, could be one of the best.
well, they've got Will Anderson, who might be the first pick next year, who's being compared to Lawrence Taylor or somebody.
There was one guy.
And then that I tell you, that other guy, that freshman Dallas Turner,
Yeah.
he's going to be a Derek Thomas himself. So I mean, so you've got two awesome edge pass rushers on the same team.
250 pounds now. He weighs over 250 pounds now and can fly.
The Dallas Turner or Will Anderson?
Anderson?
Yeah.
They said he gained up to 250 pounds now. And runs
I'll tell
about
you, Alabama also has another outside linebacker that did well in the spring. Michael will know his name.
Yeah, Braswell.
So what they're going to do is, since Will Anderson is bulked up, I guarantee you on passing downs, they'll move him inside and keep. They'll bring in Braswell and they'll have Braswell, Dallas Turner, and Will Anderson all rushing the passer on passing downs.
As far as Lee there,
Yes, sir, I'm here.
hey buddy, good morning to you. I appreciate you filling in this morning, my good friend.
Right, just a couple of notes. Pike Liberal Arts swept Clark Prep yesterday 12-0 and 15-0. They'll play Bessemer next Thursday at Pike Liberal Arts. I think the first pitch should be around 4 o'clock. And this morning on the campus of Pike Liberal Arts, the state championship golf team will be honored. Of course, Gene's Allen.
They won the championship.
They did. Gene Allen's the head coach. Their seniors are Jace Calhoun, Peyton Jacobs, and Addie Meadows. Addie was the low medalist for girls, and Molly Kate Jordan, I think, finished second in the girls division. But the boys, consisted of 6 players, and what happens, you designate 5, and but you don't designate. You got to pick your 6, but the top 4 scores count. But on that team, we've already mentioned Jace Calhoun, Peyton Jacobs. Jackson Cleveland was a low medalist for Pike Liberal Arts. I think he tied for 3rd. Braden Presswood is on the team. So Cleveland and Presswood are both sophomores. Ford Hussey is an 8th grader, so he'll be back. And Bryant Swindle, I think he might be a sophomore. So congratulations.
Another state championship for the Pike Liberal Arts sports program and the boys sports program. Awesome.
Yeah. And I think how that works next year for the Alabama High School Athletic Association, I'm not real sure, but I think Gene explained it to me a little bit. Next year they'll be grouped with 1 and 2A schools. So they'll be able to, like Elba.
And I bet
I think
golf,
Brantley won it. I think Brantley might have won.
In golf, they don't have 3A, 2A, 1A. It's just all the teams probably together.
Yeah, I think it's 1 and 2 are grouped together, then maybe 3 and 4, then the other ones are.
No, I'm talking about in the private school. So when Pike Liberal Arts,
everybody's.
What I'm saying is Pike Liberal Arts. This is actually a more impressive state championship because they beat every school in the AISA, whereas in 3A football you would beat 12 teams, 13 teams.
I don't know how many teams have a golf team, but still, congratulations.
Probably 20 or 30 have a golf team.
I can find out. I don't think it's that many, but
Like
congratulations
Troy,
anyhow.
Looks like Troy has lost some players to the transfer portal after spring football, which always happens sad to see this. Evan Schultz, Roger Schultz's son, the former Alabama player and friend of ours, he decided to transfer from Troy. So Schultz is in the transfer portal. Troy also lost Kieran Griffin, wide receiver, is in the transfer portal. Ollie Finch, another wide receiver, is in the transfer portal. A backup punter, Anthony Farik, is in the transfer portal. Troy also had a player that was a walk-on Brooks Weeks linebacker, is in the portal. Kyle Toole, the quarterback, still in the portal. Cam Williams, defensive end out of Georgia, is in the portal. And Devin Barrett, another Troy player, is in the portal.
Golly, whoa! I knew it would happen.
Well, are any of those guys starters?
It's a good thing though. It frees up scholarship. No, none of these guys are even close to starting.
Well, that's good. So actually, none of our, what you worry about is your star players being poached. But so this is actually good news. No starter has been poached yet.
Right.
And you know what?
Of course, Roger's son there already said is already signed with a Independence Community College, so he's already on a junior college, community college roster.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Well, I'll say this: we were talking about 6 running backs in on that team. I guarantee you, at least 2 will probably transfer.
Well, it's kind of interesting though. Some of these guys have the COVID year, and maybe they're trying to, get their masters. Some guys are just thinking about, graduating, maybe getting a master's now and doing that. So maybe some of those guys, will not jump.
Well, don't they have a May 1st? Don't they have a May 1st deadline? Or the SEC does.
Just get with the team.
Is that a new rule now? May 1st is the end of the transfer portal? I thought the guys were going to schools last year in August.
I know, but I thought you had to declare yourself in the portal by May 1st. I read that somewhere that's the deadline.
Well, that is.
Well, that's a good thing if that's the case.
I'll say this: that's very important to find out about that because this could come down.
You've got to have some deadline, or else the coaches are. I mean, are you going to let these kids transfer? 6 days into summer practice. I mean, it's
yeah.
So
I wanted to say August 1st, but I might be wrong.
It says,
I don't know.
here's what it says: ahead of the May 1 deadline for transfer players to compete in 2023. That's May the 1st is the deadline.
yeah. So I mean, if you can get past May 1st without any of your key players entering the portal, you breathe a big sigh of relief.
So that is the yardstick right there. Is that right?
May 1st is that's the last day to declare for
May
transfer.
1st.
Be real interesting. It'd be real interesting to see if Troy brings in a quarterback the next few days.
Hey, I'll tell you this: I've got my fingers crossed about a lot of them.
Now, let me say this: I would say that's entering your name in the portal. The portal is a database, a computer database.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean that these players have to make their decisions by May 1st. They're in the portal. They can stay in the portal forever. I mean, they'll be making decisions right up until the start of football practice.
So that is big information.
So as far as Troy adding another quarterback, you just got to look and see who's in the portal as of May 1st, and there'll probably be 50 quarterbacks, and then you just say, well, it's one of those 50.
Let me tell you this: Troy's probably in good shape. They've got Gunner. Gunner is the starting quarterback, and then we've got
Gunner gets hurt every year, and then you have no proven backup.
But he's a good football player, and he's right now the starter, I would think. And then the kid from Bainbridge, Georgia, what's his name, Mike?
Quade Hawkins.
Yeah, Hawkins is who wore number 12 in the spring game, is the number 2 guy. And then coming up through the
High school ranks.
Is the kid
Gilcrease
from Brantley, Gilcrease.
I can't believe Troy didn't try to get the quarterback from Auburn that was a 4-star. I read an article about the guy. He's like a Texas legend in football. That guy ends up leaving Auburn, going to Alabama State. a 4-star quarterback. I can't believe Troy didn't try to bring that kid in, and he was dual threat.
It must be something we don't know about.
Yeah, that is. Mike's probably right. Hey, let's see. I want to mention one thing about this Pike Liberal Arts sweeping Clark Academy is what
Clark
they call
Prep,
it.
okay.
Yeah, but I mean, we'll always call it Clark Prep. But I did see that they call themselves Clark Academy now. Pike might go to Pike Academy if Mike Amos gets his way.
Wait a minute. They haven't changed their name, have they?
Pike hadn't, but Clark Prep did. Clark Prep is now Clark Academy.
Yeah, I think Pike ought to do it. I really do.
Anyway, the Pike sweeps 12-0 and 15-0. And I read a little blurb in the Dothan Eagle, and Jeff Coke got the win in the first game, gave up 4 hits. And Drew Nelson went the second game and gave up 1 hit in 5 innings. So he had a no-hitter his last game, and he gave up 1 hit in 5 innings in this game. Well, in this game, in 5 innings, he only struck out 10 batters in 5 innings out of 15 outs. So his last game against Lee Scott, he pitched 6 innings and struck out 18, as we know. He strikes out 10 in 5 innings. So I did a little math for us.
Okay.
That is 28 strikeouts in his last 11 innings.
28 out of 33.
Turn
Yeah.
out the
Yeah.
lights. The party's over when that guy pitches.
So they don't play 7 innings in high school baseball. They play 6.
There's a run rule. I think if they're up by so many runs, they'll play. I think they'll play 7.
If it's not,
I think it's. I don't really know if it's 7
it's
or
a
9.
sliding rule. I think if you're down by so many runs in the 4th
I
inning,
think it's 7 in a normal game, but I guess a 10-run rule.
yeah.
But I'll say this, he's already committed or already signed. He's already got his name on the line to play at Auburn next year. Auburn folks have got to be extremely excited about this young man who's got a major league changeup.
Well, and he's also a good hitter. He had a 3-run home run in the first game, or 3.
Yeah, he wants to. They're talking. They were talking to Auburn about allowing to ban, and they might play him in the outfield. Can't tell. Too, because he's a great player. I'll tell you that right now.
Well, I need some coffee, and so if Steve's listening, I'm just gonna come out and say it. I need some coffee, man. And we got some good commercials, and we want people to watch them. And then during the commercial, call all your friends and say, "Are you watching Today in L.A.? Forrest Lee's on the show."
Right.
Yeah, that's right. Forrest Lee's on the show.
You're talking about the transfer portal. That's a whole different entity now within your athletic program. You've got to have 2 or 3 assigned. Hey, they probably got a big war room on just transfer portals, much less high school recruits.
I know.
And
I'd like to see that.
NIL, you got to have a board of men and women running.
They must have a big board with.
They do.
All the names of the people in the portal. All their players, and then they probably have little gold stars next to the ones that they think might enter the portal themselves here.
I want to apply for the security officer's job of that room. There's probably a lock and key, and you got to have a code to get in. It's like the red room.
If you do well in the portal, you can look at Michigan State. They were supposed to be really bad last year, and they were really good. They had a great season. And their whole, 25% of their key players were transfers.
You know what they're saying is, hey guys, spring football is over now. Let's go get their players.
Well, I think
Can we talk to Troy University and talk to their compliance and see if Today in LA can sponsor a player this year?
You could.
Yeah.
There's not. I have said.
Broadcast journalism. Maybe.
I have thrown out my Sanders truck line idea about getting the best offensive and defensive linemen in the country to represent our truck line, but nobody's acting on it so far.
All right, let's take that break, y'all were talking about.
Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be right back with Today in LA after these messages. Excuse me.
Hey, Jim Jackson, Bill Jackson Ford here in Troy, Alabama, where not only can you get the best price on a new Ford, but we can also get you exactly what you're looking for. We all know inventories are low right now, but don't settle for something you don't love. Come by Bill Jackson Ford in Troy, Alabama, and let us walk you through the retail order process and get you exactly what you're looking for. So come see us at Bill Jackson Ford in Troy, Alabama, where you too can experience the Jackson satisfaction.
It's Ford Truck Month. America, you know what to do. Now's the time to get after the best deals on Ford F-Series, America's best-selling trucks, 45 years straight. Also, great offers on Ford Ranger and the new Ford Maverick. Ford Truck Month is here, so let's get after it. Get 0 for 60 plus up to $1,000 bonus cash plus a no-charge 3-year Ford Protect Premium Maintenance Plan on F-150.
The all-new Troy Regional Women's Diagnostic Center brings all of the latest and advanced 3D mammography and breast ultrasound services to the Troy area in our all-new outpatient facility. Dr. Lauren Thorington, along with our team of certified breast specialists, read your mammograms, which are performed by our registered radiologic technologists, bringing the best in women's health care to the Troy area. Troy Regional Women's Diagnostic Center.
I wish you could taste how much better food tastes when cooked on a Green Mountain grill. But I can let you in on the reason that's true. Our pellets contain water, so they create steam while you cook, keeping your food moist. Does a gas or charcoal grill do that? I think not.
Come and see us at Southern Grill and Patio just off the square in Troy.
Hey, Jim Jackson with Bill Jackson Chevrolet Buick GMC right here in Troy, Alabama, and we've got some exciting news for you. After a 2-year suspension, GM has now reintroduced the sold order process on the redesigned GMC Sierra 1500 and Chevrolet Silverado 1500. So come in and order yours today and not have to wait 6 months to get exactly what you want. So come see us at Bill Jackson Chevrolet Buick GMC in Troy, where you too can experience the Jackson satisfaction.
Back to our show.
Welcome back to Today in LA. On the set we have Bill Rice and I'm Forrest Lee. And calling from Birmingham we have Mike Amos, and his son Michael is calling in from Grayton Beach, Florida. Good morning.
We were talking on the break about President Biden coming to Lockheed Martin. It's very rare that a president comes to Alabama, and I've never heard of a president. Here's my presidential stories involving Troy or Pike County. Some candidates have been here. I have heard stories of when President Bush, the first Bush, was running for president against Ronald Reagan, which would have been 1979-80. He came to Troy, and I've heard people hanging out with him at the Holiday Inn at Troy. And he later became president, but he wasn't. He was a candidate. I guess there's probably been some other candidates. But as far as I used to live in Opelika. I went to a school in downtown residential area of Opelika called Martin Middle School. And right in front of my school was a road that President FDR once rode down. There's big pictures of it, and the streets of Opelika came out to see the president. He was in the area because he used to go to Warm Springs for those spas, water.
I've got a story
My
about
point is, even today, it was a big deal that President FDR came to Opelika, a president. Well, Troy's never had that. Now, I don't think Biden is going to come to Troy. I think he's going to stay up in Orion and then get back to Washington, D.C.
He's going to stay up in Orion where my good friend Keith Rowland
That's right.
resides.
He's the mayor of Orion.
There's a story of
sitting out on the front porch, wouldn't you think?
There's a story about Franklin Delano Roosevelt when he was in Warm Springs. My mother-in-law at the time, Shirley Cruz Fowler, she contracted polio. as a little girl. She was in the hospital. She had multiple surgeries. President Roosevelt rose in her room, tickles her on her big toe, and he says, "This polio, it's nothing. You'll be okay." He tickled my mother-in-law's big toe when she was a little girl. Franklin
That's
Delano
something else
Roosevelt.
right there. Good for him for doing that. Yeah.
That is touching. It really is.
Well, I hope Biden, he won't. They're hiding Biden from the public. I mean, if you've been watching Fox News, President Biden is actually struggling right now with some mental issues. But I wish he would come on, drive over to Troy and see the Troy University. I mean, he doesn't get out much. Once he gets out, he ought to see some people, is what I say.
I bet you at the missile plant that he'll know a lot of those folks right there. I would think every politician in this part of the country will be there.
Well, that's why he's coming, because of the javelin, and I wouldn't promote where it is, but we are.
I know. I thought the same thing for us.
Or who, and that started with who, our governor.
Here we are. We're at.
Oh, they know where everything's located. Lockheed.
This is no secret. And then who was our first plant manager at Lockheed Martin? Dennis Smith or Dennis?
I remember Dennis. Yeah.
Great guy. I named him the Troy Citizen of the Year one year. He was great in the community, and he spoke at civic clubs, and he was speaking to a Rotary Club or something one time, and I was a reporter, and I asked him, I said, "Well, Dennis, is Lockheed Martin, would it be a nuclear target if there ever was a nuclear war?" And he didn't bat an eye. He said, "Oh yeah, I mean, they know all about us." And I mean, they make the javelin that's being used to blow up Russian tanks. They make the Hellfire missile that has been used against who knows how many terrorists.
Well,
it would be high on the list.
Then Sikorsky is not that far away.
Well, Maxwell Air Force, Fort Rucker would be the home of Army Aviation, would be the other big one.
Yeah, there could be Secret Service agents and government officials in Pike County as we speak.
Sure, they are. They've already
probably watching
casted
this show.
I guarantee you they are.
We're talking about.
Like I was joking this morning, somebody turkey hunting this morning might be ended up calling up some law enforcement agency.
What day next week will he be here?
Tuesday. Isn't that right?
I'll tell you what, I would not get anywhere near 231 near that area on Tuesday.
I'm gonna call my brother and see surely they can let the messenger have some reporters in there, and that'd be fun just to see the entourage and the press corps that comes with him, and how I mean, they're probably going to set up a teleprompter, and I would love to observe all of the logistics that go on with a presidential visit. I will say, the Lockheed Martin, the CEO of the total Lockheed Martin company, which is one of the biggest companies in the world and has plants all over America, will she be here? She's actually a she. She's a University of Alabama graduate.
Our motels will be packed with journalists and then government officials, and government security will be everywhere.
Are they cooking extra barbecue up there on 231?
Oh yeah, the barbecue house is giving away barbecues.
Yeah.
He'll probably not go that far. Martin Marietta will put up.
His barbecue will go from $7 to $10. I bet.
He might want to stop by Sykes and Cons. He might want to stop by Sykes and Cons and pick up some shoes.
He get some jeans, some khakis, and some boots.
I guarantee you there will be security people buying things from Sykes and Cons, I bet.
If I was him, I would stop. You're right. He needs to stop at Sykes and Cons, which is an institution. Go to Lockheed Martin. It's impressive. Go to Red's Schoolhouse Restaurant, or go to Sisters. Come to the Square in Troy. Go to Birds. and then drive through the campus and talk to Dr. Hawkins and the SGA president, and then head on back.
He's great friends with John Lewis. Now Troy has the John Lewis. What is the building?
It's the Lewis Hall.
It used to be Bibb Graves. Now it's the John Lewis building.
You can tour that.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, it's going to be a big day.
The question is, who's going to fill those shoes?
Yeah.
When I was a little kid, though, growing up, I thought there was some president that came through Troy like on a train and like waved at everybody. Was that not right? Like some train came through town.
I don't know.
No, the last train.
They made us go to Jimmy Carter's house in Georgia. What was that called?
Yeah.
I would like to see that. Plains.
What was the house in Georgia? Plains.
Plains, Georgia. Yeah, Plains, Georgia.
Yeah. I remember they bussed us all over there. We had to go tour that.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you what. You think about Pike County. It has Lockheed Martin, which is doing great business. Sikorsky, which is doing great business. Rex Lumber, which is doing great business. Kimber Guns, which is doing great business.
Whaley Construction.
Whaley Construction.
Troy University.
Well, all Henderson, Black and Green, all the Sanders companies, KW Plastics, all doing great.
That's right. You're exactly right.
And then I'm the Walmart Distribution Center, which does great. The what's the place? Golden Foods or whatever in the
Golden Boy.
The peanut butter company doing
Golden
great.
Boy.
And then the company in Brundage that makes all the sauces, they're doing great. They don't get enough attention.
You're right. That's impressive. There's a lot of great opportunities in Troy. I would think the unemployment in Troy, Pike County, is probably is low as most any around. That's a good omen, no question.
The university looks like it's doing okay. I do wonder. I need to tell Bobby the thick hook on this story is, what has the enrollment of the Chinese students, has it stayed the same or is it going up and down? Because, there's big friction with China now that used not to be there. Plus, China has completely gone crazy and shut down their whole nation. But that's important to Troy because about 10% of Troy's student body is Chinese students. I
think I don't think they're even depend on that group of people.
As much.
I think it does.
In fact, I don't think they're near the numbers that they've had in the past.
Well, that's what I'm saying. If those numbers have dropped down, which you might be right, I bet you they have to have dropped.
Well, something's going on.
Then the enrollment of Troy is dropped.
With apartments going up in Troy.
I tell you what, it did drop. I've never seen more cars parked at the university ever than I've ever seen here in Troy.
Do we need a parking deck?
Lots, and they are packed with cars.
Well, that's good.
Is it time for a parking deck at Troy University?
It's been time for that.
Mm-hmm.
I would think every college's enrollment's down a little bit, but I think Troy's is stable. I think it's very stable.
Well, I hope so. It's challenging times. If it's down, you can understand why.
Well, apartments keep being built left and right, north, south, east, and west.
Is unreal.
They're skyrocketing still.
And you're talking about just in Troy or everywhere?
Yeah, Troy. Yeah. Troy. Look what's going on in Troy behind.
Behind C&S Drugs or whatever.
CVS.
A big housing development going up there.
And I see a lot of public notices or a public meeting.
Yeah.
Where something's changing.
I see property that's been bought up and buildings raised, and you say, well, what's going to go there? I'll tell you who else continues to grow is Pike Road. Gosh, they're building everywhere in Pike Road.
I
really are.
I saw where Coach Johnny Shoemaker passed away yesterday.
Wow.
No way.
He was a longtime coach at Crenshaw Christian Academy. Yeah.
Hey y'all, let me tell you.
I thought it was at Lakeside.
Well, he went to Crenshaw to begin with. He was at Crenshaw in Luverne for a long time. He and
then you know he
Shoemaker
and
Clark.
were great coaches
At Crenshaw.
Glenwood at the time.
Crenshaw.
At Crenshaw at the same time for a long time. And then Shoemaker left and went to Lakeside Academy of Eufaula, where he coached for 25 to 30 years. He was a great coach. And he was married to one of the prettiest girls ever to walk.
Yeah, Miss Alice
K. Ward. Alice K. Ward. He was married to her for 40, 50 plus years. And wonderful couple. And I hate that about.
I've got it here, right here. I've got it here. It's Johnny Henry Shoemaker, 72. He was an avid fisherman.
Wait a minute. He was older than 72.
Well, that's what I'm reading here. You said he was married.
He was. You know why I know that? I want y'all to hear me. Y'all shut up now. Hear me. The reason I say that, he was the quarterback for Bobby Bowden when Howard College beat Troy 81 to nothing.
Yeah, that's got to be a
That's another Shoemaker. I'm sorry.
He's at least 82.
My apologies. I looked up the wrong one.
Well, I mean, you'll read it.
No, it was another it's another guy with a shoe neighbor.
Yeah.
But you understand what I mean, don't you?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I made a mistake. That was the first one I read.
It's all over Facebook. That's where I saw it.
Well, no, Forrest was right. He said he's not 72. He was older.
I made a mistake.
And a lot of people did not know that out of he was from right outside of Childersburg. Childersburg. He was from Childersburg, and he went to play for Howard College. And then Howard College hired Bobby Bowden to be their head football coach. So Howard College started recruiting like you wouldn't believe, and they got a team, and they played Troy that year and beat Troy 81 to nothing. And then after that, Troy started saying, hey, that won't happen again. Troy started bringing players in.
Yep.
But Shoemaker was a great one. And,
Bobby Bowden was he was a quarterback at Howard College when he was a player.
That's right. You're exactly right.
Yeah, I was friends with his son went to college with me, Matt Shoemaker.
Yeah. Well, when does it give anything about what time the funeral will be, anything like that?
I hadn't seen any of the details, but I saw several people posting about it on Facebook yesterday.
And now, far as
did he coach football and basketball?
Yeah, he coached both of them. He was a good coach. He really was. Hey, far as Billy, the Judge Billy died. Did you know that? Billy King. Ladies and gentlemen, one of my good friends, Billy King, Judge Billy King, was laid to rest last week, and he was also an outstanding person, and at the same time was an outstanding athlete at Luverne High School. In 1954 or 55, he played quarterback. He was signed to play quarterback at Alabama, and he went to Alabama for 4 years and graduated and became a judge, and a great judge, Billy King.
Well,
you know what I'm talking about, Tavares?
Is he from Luverne? Was he from Luverne?
Yes, sir. Judge Billy King.
I know of him a little bit.
One of Luverne's all-time best athletes.
What do we have coming up? Pike Blarks is they're off until they play again Thursday, I guess. Charles Henderson's out of the playoffs. Do we have any other local teams? Goshen's out.
Yeah, I would think
maybe the Charles Henderson girls. They softball. They were pretty good. I need to find out how they're doing.
Yeah, they're still. I don't know what.
Now I would think that Brantley is still in it. Would you say?
Yeah, they are.
And also
can't pull it up.
Some other teams down that part of the country.
Looks like former Charles Henderson running back Jared Wilson out of South Alabama is in transfer portal. So where Jared Wilson go?
Yeah, he was a good football player at Pike County High School.
Charles
Dad,
Henderson.
you think he wants to come to Troy and be one of the 7 running backs of Troy?
But Troy don't need a running back.
He went to Charles Henderson.
Charles Henderson had a running back that went to South Alabama?
Yeah. He went to South Alabama, but he's now in the transfer portal. But he played at Charles Henderson. Well, I guess he played 4 or 5 years ago.
Something like that. He graduated with Abbey, and but he's getting up to be close to a senior.
The portal is bringing them out of the woods, bringing players out of the woods that you forgot about. You know what I mean?
We need to mention that if you want to see a good play, you can go to Charles Henderson High School's cafetorium tonight or tomorrow and watch Legally Blonde being put on by Charles Henderson High School's drama department. They had their opening performance last night, and I know all about it because my wife, Carrie Rice, is in the cast.
Good.
She plays the judge, and she said it went well. They had a real good crowd, and she said there was a few little snafus, but she doesn't think anybody in the audience would picked up on them. And surely they'll get better the more times they do it. But congratulations on all the people that are working on that. I know it takes a lot of hard work. And
who's the director of that now? Who runs that?
I don't know her name. That's the head of the drama department. She replaced Judith.
Judith Park.
That did such a good job. Judith Park moved to Decatur. We were sad to lose her.
Guys, I've got some more news to bring you. My good friend John Key had surgery in Birmingham yesterday, and they say that all things went well, and our prayers and our thoughts were with him then and are with him now. Dr. John Key, one of the greats of Pike County history.
The lead singer of the Fabulous Shades.
That's right, the lead singer of the Fabulous Shades, and the surgery went well, and he'll be back singing before you know it.
Yay! Everybody loves Dr. Key and his great family. So thank you, Mike,
right.
and we're glad that went well, and hope he's home soon.
Yes, sir. And we're gonna run by and see him today.
Good.
Didn't mention Troy baseball will be hosting Georgia State this weekend. Troy's coming off a big win during the week at Georgia Tech. Troy scored 6 runs in the 9th inning and held on to beat Georgia Tech 12-8. Troy, if they can get hot, has an outside chance, and maybe they can win the NCAA regionals. So this last stretch of like 15 games is big to see how Troy finishes. If they can get to 40 wins, they'd have a really good chance at possibly getting into the NCAA regionals. Maybe even as high. If you get about 38 wins, you'd have a chance.
Yeah. You know, Mike, a few years back, and it wasn't that long ago, Troy made it to the regionals and went to Georgia, and that's where they played the regionals at the University of Georgia. And that was so much fun. I stayed there about 4 or 5 days, and all I did was watch baseball, and it was really a lot of fun.
I bet that is fun. Yeah, to watch the tournaments. I like it.
Be right there on the campus and everything.
Yeah, and then it's fun to go and watch. If you got time to watch basketball tournaments. I mean, not more than just your team, but to watch all the other teams.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the story with that tournament was very strange. Troy plays the first game against Duke, blows out Duke. I mean, gosh, just lights out for Troy. Dad is there the next day. Troy's got the lead on Georgia. Georgia comes back and wins. Then there's a rain out for a whole day, and Dad ends up staying like 4 nights, 5 nights. But Troy played well in that tournament. Unfortunately, Duke got hot and came back out of the losers bracket and beat Georgia and won the regional.
Huh.
That's right. And I'll tell you another thing too. They waited on the rain out. Georgia pulled off the coup, and they.
So they saved some
had
pitch.
a rain delay, and they were able to stop the game, and all the pitchers that were worn out got refurbished, and it turned out that I think they won that region.
No, Duke ended up winning it.
Oh,
I do remember what happened there. Yeah, it was a strange thing that Georgia called a game. Were able to come back and have more pitching the next day.
Well, I've always said, and Troy's won some games at these regionals and been to the regionals a couple times now, but softball and baseball get hot at the right time, and in baseball you need, what I say it all the time, 2 good pitchers, 2 really good pitchers, and you can go all the way, man. Softball, you can do it with one great pitcher. I mean, look at James Madison last year. They're joining the Sun Belt Conference. So Troy will be playing James Madison in softball over and over and over again. Well, last year, James Madison makes it to the final series of the College World Series. And I think they beat Oklahoma the first game, and then they lost 2.
Something like that.
So James Madison, that is in the Sun Belt Conference now, almost won the College World Series in softball last year.
Well, Coastal Carolina won it in baseball a few years back.
Going back to
Dad, you're going to have to make a trip to James Madison and Old Dominion so you can say you've been everywhere in the conference.
I know it. I will, and look forward to it.
I'll go with you.
We went to Marshall for a game one time. I tell you what, I'll go ahead and tell anybody out there listening right there, that is a great football town and a great trip. Definitely go to see Troy and Marshall.
What is
you know how we say go Troy? They say go Herds, and everywhere you see, everywhere you go to that town, you look up and there's a sign saying go Herds. I mean, over and over and over. And we ought to do that about go Troy. That's what it is. Don't you agree? Put go Troy signs all over town.
I think so. It's Alabama's most beautiful campus. I tell you, President Biden, it's Alabama's most beautiful campus. Come see it.
That's right. And you know what? This is something I'm wondering. Do you reckon they'll have the sound of the South out there?
Yeah.
No.
I don't know. I've seen it in a lot of places. He would have never heard a band like that in his life.
Well, he's the President of the United States. Roll out the red carpet.
Well, that's more people you got to screen.
Let's take a break.
No, not doing that.
Let's take a break.
All right.
We'll be back.
We're going to take a coffee break, or for Michael, it's a Milo's tea break. And,
it's Milo's sweet tea break. Okay.
As we get closer to the weekend, everybody do what you do on the weekend. Well, I don't do. I stay on the couch like I do on the non-weekend. But
It's easy. 29 down and drive. That's 29 down and you drive today. Or Premier will double your tax refund on a new vehicle purchase. Tax season is car season. 29 down or $99 a month and drive today. Or double your tax refund. Nobody beats a Premier deal. Nobody.
Join us at the Troy Fest Fine Art and Craft Festival in downtown Troy. We have more than 100 vendors with something for everyone. From pottery, photography, glasswork, painting, woodwork, and more. We hope to see you in downtown Troy. Open Saturday from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. and Sunday from 10 a.m. to 4. Please come and enjoy a good time and celebrate the arts. Troy Fest Fine Art and Craft Festival in downtown Troy.
A personal touch, a high level of trust. Whether it's checking and savings accounts, personal or business loans, or our local friendly service. That's what Troy Bank and Trust customers expect. But now we offer more. Free identity theft protection for our new and existing customers, protecting your family's time, money, and good name from identity theft. Because protecting your identity is now a big part of our identity.
It's Ford Truck Month. America, you know what to do. Now's the time to get after the best deals on Ford F-Series, America's best-selling trucks, 45 years straight. Also, great offers on Ford Ranger and the new Ford Maverick. Ford Truck Month is here, so let's get after it. Get 0 for 60 plus up to $1,000 bonus cash plus a no-charge 3-year Ford Protect Premium Maintenance Plan on F-150.
It's easy. 29 down and drive. That's 29 down and you drive today. Or Premier will double your tax refund on a new vehicle purchase. Tax season is car season. 29 down or $99 a month and drive today. Or double your tax refund. Nobody beats a Premier deal. Nobody.
Right, almost. All right, we're back. And Forrest Lee had to go to school. You know, he is back teaching and coaching fairly full-time at Pike Liberal Arts, doing the things he loves and is really good at. So we appreciate him subbing with us. And
hey, you know what he's doing at Pike Liberal? He's building a
archery program.
A dynasty, an archery dynasty. He's building a archery dynasty. You watch.
I love.
He'll be dominating this day.
I love that sport and what he's doing with it, and a lot of interest. And it seems to me it's a sport you can participate in your whole life, and the people that maybe don't play other sports can be good at, excel at it. And he's got it going, and it'll just get better and better. But you know, he does more things than just archery at Pike Liberal Arts.
Dad, why don't you and Rice get the old sticks out and go play in the John Summerall Golf Classic? That will be at Wind Lakes Country Club on July the 25th on a Monday.
Is that this next Monday? This next Monday?
No, July 25th.
July 25th, so that is several months from now.
July 25th, guys, almost 2 months away.
But yeah, I have played in those scrambles up at Wind Lakes before, sponsored by basketball or football coaches, and Coach Blakeney had one up there every year.
Oh yeah,
it's a great course and a great venue for it.
Well, I bet you Coach Summerall can hit a golf ball. He is a big dude.
I bet he can too. Or he might be like me, can't hit it far at all.
I was at your favorite place yesterday down here, and boy, they had a bunch of golf clubs out there. My God.
Where was that?
Your favorite thrift store, Haven House.
Oh yeah. I tell you what, if you want to buy golf clubs, that's the place to go, isn't it?
I'm sitting outside there though, and I'm looking at it. Then there was like some ping clubs. I mean, there was probably eight bags of golf clubs. Every single bag was, a complete set. Some of these golf bags look brand new. I mean, it's just crazy. And then basically you could buy those for like $15-$20. It's like a beautiful thing for a high school kid or something down here that wants to start playing golf.
They're putters. Evidently it's people that buy clubs every year. A lot of people do it and throw the others away.
That's true.
Yeah,
that's good.
My wife hates me because we have about 10 bicycles from there now. But
well, you think about
you think a good one for your daddy. I need to start back riding again.
Here's what golfers do. They're really interested in drivers, which I guess you should be. It's probably the most important club in your bag. But these real serious golfers, they change out drivers all the time, and they're up. The technology gets better and better, and so they buy a new one every other year. Well, because of that, they've got 6 or 7 old drivers that are still perfectly good. That either they're going to sit in their garage or they can give them to me. Or,
if you need Rice, if you need a set of golf clubs, you're talking to him.
I know it. Well,
I've got plenty, and I'll give you one. I'll give you a whole set.
We need to go. We need to go all play, so we won't embarrass each other, and then just maybe we can make it 18 holes. And I want to.
It would be a lot of fun, no question.
I was really excited. I was really excited yesterday. My girls made their modeling debut down here, right at Alice Beach. They were modeling for the new Alice Shop catalog, and they did a really good job. I was proud of Mary Prater and Millie.
Well, they look.
The photographer was very impressed with their modeling skills.
Well, here I'll make watch that. Those girls could go nationwide. They're so pretty, and watch out. send those pictures up to New York.
Mike, that was
And your old friend of ours, Dad, came out and watched them getting pictures taken of Ann Reynolds Henderson. Talked to her for a good while.
She's a sweet lady, sweet, pretty lady, and I've known her all her life. You're right.
And her, how many? She was telling me about her brothers. How many brothers? Reynolds brothers are there? Two.
Well, let's see. There's Robert. Robert was my age and is a ultra successful doctor.
And then there's Tim, isn't there?
Yeah, Tim's an attorney and good friend of mine, and an outstanding golfer too. Tim was one of the top golfers to come through Troy.
Speaking
I was out there yesterday, and I tell you what, if you want to see a beautiful development, I mean, looks like you're in Greece. We walked all throughout Alice Beach yesterday. Next time y'all come to 30A, I would definitely take your family out there and walk around. It's gorgeous.
What are they? Go through all the beaches that run into each other on 30A for everybody.
Well, I mean, it all starts with Inlet Beach, and then after Inlet Beach, you have Rosemary Beach.
Rosemary.
We have great families that we knew that built in Inlet Beach years ago. One of them was my roommate from Dothan's family, the Watleys. Force Adams, Mary Earl.
The Elboys. That's the Elboys from Troy.
Yeah, they built an inlet.
Well, I haven't even heard of Inlet, but then you got Rosemary, and then.
Yeah, where it starts is it starts in Inlet. So once you go over Lake Powell, or Phillips Inlet is what I always called it, you hit Inlet Beach. And once you hit Inlet Beach, the next huge mega resort development is Rosemary Beach. And then after Rosemary Beach, there's another little development that's kind of similar to Rosemary Beach called Seacrest. Mm-hmm. And then after that is Alice Beach, which is absolutely gorgeous. I mean, you look like you're in Greece.
Solid white.
Everything's white, and they literally have at least, I'd say, 150 palm trees. Mm-hmm. Some of them are over 25 feet high.
Yep.
That are throughout Alice Beach. Then after Alice, you drive into another area that's Watersound.
Yeah.
Watersound Origins is on the beach, and it's on 98 now. There's two different sections of Watersound Origins. Camp Creek Golf Course is in between Alice and Watersound Origins. But I will say after Alice, they built another little mini Alice called Kiowa that a lot of people are buying at right now as well. So after you get past Watersound, you go into the old Seagrove Beach, which is a great place to live down here. And then after that, you run into Seaside, which, of course, everybody knows where Seaside is. The Truman Show was shot there, and tons of people congregate throughout Seaside. And after Seaside, you got Watercolor, which is owned by the St. Joe Company, which owns everything down here. And then after Watercolor, you've got Grayton, where I live, Grayton Beach.
And then it goes on, though, is in the Blue Mountain.
Our own community, yeah. And after that, you got Blue Mountain, which I love. Blue Mountain's a great area down here. And then after that, you got Guff Place. Then after that, you got Dune Allen. And then you've got Topsail area, which is the very end of 30A.
And then you eventually come to Sandestin and Destin. So there you go. I mean, it's they call it the beaches of 30A. About 12 years ago, I was the managing editor of the Montgomery Independent, which our market was rich Montgomery folks that go to the beach. And so they comped, if I went down there and covered some event they had, they would put me up and wine me and dine me, bribe me basically to get a good story. But I did it. I was happy to be bribed, and they put me up at Sandestin. But I got the guided tour of most of those beaches you just said, Mike. Some of them are new.
Let me say something. Let me tell you something to everybody here.
But they're unlike any beaches in our region that they're all distinct and different and but they're all run into each other pretty much.
Right. So let me tell you something. Mike Amos just ran off all of those places. I don't know if anybody anywhere could have done that.
No.
I mean, but at this point, looking at a computer that was right off his head, he named all of those places, and I don't know how he's able to do that.
Well, the ones
it's pretty easy because I drive them every day of my life.
Yeah.
I remember Seagrove from being a kid. It's an old, pretty big. But then what changed everything, Michael, you bear me out. Whoever the founders of Seaside were innovators that changed everything. I mean, they did something that has been copied around the world, I think. It's been copied in the waters away from the beaches. And then Seaside was eventually or quickly a hit, and then it spawned all these other developments like Water Sound and Alice Beach and Watercolor. It is just a super cool area, and it's all, man, I tell you, it's all 2.5 hours from Troy, Alabama.
Gosh, I tell you what, less than that.
2 hours then?
Make 2 hours easy to Troy from my house.
The big difference in that part of the old Panama City Beach, all Laguna and all those places, is the traffic down on toward
38.
Yeah, it's unbearable during the summertime.
The traffic on 38 is unbearable.
Well, it's if you go right. If you go right towards Watercolor Seaside, yeah, it's unbearable. If you go left towards Blue Mountain and Gulf Place, you're still okay. We don't even go right during the summertime.
Yeah, I got you.
In Laguna and all those places, you've got every block is almost a way to get back home.
Michael can tell me. I mean, it's long ago discovered by the beautiful people, but I mean, aren't just all kind of celebrities and athletes and retired athletes have now got houses down there?
Yeah, I mean, there's always
coaches.
I mean, I can't even get into like who comes and looks at houses. I mean, it's some of the bigger names you'll ever hear in music and sports. But kind of just common down here, I mean, I do the show every day, and one of the biggest country music stars, the co-lead singer of the Florida Georgia line, Brian Kelly guy, lives right up the street from me. Right down the street from me is Tommy Shaw, who's like considered one of the greatest guitar players ever for the rock band Styx.
Oh, Tommy Shaw lives right down the road from you?
He lives 5 houses down from me.
Golly.
I mean, it's just one of those things. Cy Young pitcher lives on Pine Street. I could hit it with a football. The pitch for Toronto won a Cy Young. Pitch for the Braves later. R.A. Dickey.
Which one's your favorite one of all of those? I mean, I obviously Great Beach.
BK, the singer of Florida Georgia Line, super nice guy.
What are these beach communities you think are the coolest or the?
Oh, I mean, I'm very proud of Graydon. I love Graydon. It's just a little bitty quiet. Well, not quiet, but it used to be kind of quiet. But it's kind of like an old, artsy kind of laid back vibe kind of community. It's one of my favorites, probably of all time.
Rice, I told you what a beautiful place it is to live down here. I'm saying
you talking about the beach? You talking about the beach or Mountain Brook?
Mountain Brook was one thing because they didn't even have to go to school today. I didn't realize it, and everybody's just now waking up down here.
You ought to put Mel Amos on the show real quick so I can say goodbye to her.
Well,
she's already gone.
Yeah, let me tell you.
I wonder. Did she say how long that flight would be to France?
I didn't ask.
So you fly from Birmingham. They're taking a bus to Atlanta, and then they're flying Air France. You said.
Yeah, that's right.
I think it takes about 7 hours to go across the Atlantic Ocean.
Well, that's what I was wondering. That's what it was when I went to London.
I mean, Paris would be about the same as London, I would think.
I would love to go to Paris, but I've been looking at different things on Italy lately. I think the next trip I'll make overseas will be to Italy. I want to go there.
All right, y'all say good morning, Macon. Good morning to Birmingham.
Troy.
Hey, Meg, you on TV? Hello. She said hello. That's Macon. Boy, you should have seen her playing.
Hey, Michael, I want to see some of those pictures from the fashion shoot. I bet they are fantastic.
Yeah, my wife will have those. She'll have access to everything when it's all said and done. I was talking to the photographer yesterday, and he has been shooting down here for several years. But, hey, Macon. But he lived in Atlanta and shot in Atlanta for 20 years as well. And he was telling some interesting stories about Atlanta back in the day.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna bail out of here, but y'all continue what you're doing, and we appreciate it.
Yeah, I mean, it's about time to wrap it up. I mean, like I mentioned, Troy will be playing Georgia State 3 games this weekend. We've got the Troy women's softball team on the road at Texas State.
Where is is Troy at home against Georgia State or on the road?
No, Troy's at home hosting Georgia State.
Well, everybody look up where the when and where. Well, it's gonna be at Riddle Pace Field, but support the Trojans. These are important games. All right.
I'll tell you how the draft.
Saturday and Sunday.
That's starting today.
Yeah, you'll have the draft tonight as well. So remember to watch the draft. I think it's second, third round tonight. And after that, on Saturday, will be the 4th through the 7th round. I think Troy University, unfortunately in football, is going to keep their streak. They've had several years without having a player drafted, and I don't think anybody's going to be drafted this year as well.
But they're good college football players, and that's all I want to see, a good college football player.
Mm-hmm.
And, of course, you talking about a pretty little girl getting you should have seen her play soccer yesterday. Their facility is just outstanding down here. And she made 3 long kicks for goal.
Really?
For goal, yeah.
Yeah, she can run for her age.
She can. She can really run. You're right. And everything. Well,
y'all have a good weekend.
Y'all go to the. You can see the CHHS play. Legally Blonde. Troy playing some important baseball games. A great way to work on your suntan and pull for the Trojans. There's a lot of things going on that we're probably missing. I'm taking Jack out to the rec center. He can now ride a bike solo, and he wants to ride his bike on the trails out at the Sportsplex. So that's what I'm doing tomorrow.
That sounds great. Sounds great.
All right. Well, everybody, appreciate you watching, and if the good Lord's willing and the creek don't rise, we'll be back here Monday morning at 7 o'clock. This show is repeated, I think, at 1:30 in the afternoon. So thanks for watching. Everybody have a great and safe weekend.
Hey, Jim Jackson, Bill Jackson Ford here in Troy, Alabama, where not only can you get the best price on a new Ford, but we can also get you exactly what you're looking for. We all know inventories are low right now, but don't settle for something you don't love. Come by Bill Jackson Ford in Troy, Alabama, and let us walk you through the retail order process and get you exactly what you're looking for. So come see us at Bill Jackson Ford in Troy, Alabama, where you too can experience the Jackson satisfaction.
It's Ford Truck Month. America, you know what to do. Now's the time to get after the best deals on Ford F-Series, America's best-selling trucks, 45 years straight. Also, great offers on Ford Ranger and the new Ford Maverick. Ford Truck Month is here, so let's get after it. Get 0 for 60 plus up to $1,000 bonus cash plus a no-charge 3-year Ford Protect Premium Maintenance Plan on F-150.
The all-new Troy Regional Women's Diagnostic Center brings all of the latest and advanced 3D mammography and breast ultrasound services to the Troy area in our all-new outpatient facility. Dr. Lauren Thorington, along with our team of certified breast specialists, read your mammograms, which are performed by our registered radiologic technologists, bringing the best in women's health care to the Troy area. Troy Regional Women's Diagnostic Center.
I wish you could taste how much better food tastes when cooked on a Green Mountain grill, but I can let you in on the reason that's true. Our pellets contain water, so they create steam while you cook, keeping your food moist. Does a gas or charcoal grill do that? I think not.
Come and see us at Southern Grill and Patio just off the square in Troy.